Dutchess County Court of Law number 2 is in session in 2 cases, cause number M329814 and cause number M29816. Both cases are style state of Texas versus Dario Santiangelo Hardaway. Mr. Hardaway, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Hardaway, you're representing this case by your attorney, Attorney Bruce Smith. Attorney Smith, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. State is representing this case by Attorney Corbett Hoffmeyer. Attorney Hoffmeyer, how are you doing?
Good, Judge.
Mr. Smith, what is your announcement?
Your Honor, we're still waiting on the discovery.
Okay.
We're asking for more time.
Let me ask you this here, Mr. Smith. You want this set on a specific date, or you just a regular reset?
It would have to be, it can't be in July, but
Okay, just August? Okay,
sometime in August
okay,
or September, whatever.
okay.
September, September 6th.
September 6th? Okay, so this case, of these cases, Mr. Hardaway will be set on September 6th of 2023. Your attorney is going to get your resets. Once you get your resets from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day, Mr. Smith. You'll be free to go as well. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna wait on you to get that motion. Jefferson County Court of Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number M333942, case of style of state of Texas versus Rodney Cole. Mr. Cole, is that your full name?
Rodney Tavares Cole.
Rodney Tavares Cole. Mr. Cole, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Cole, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cole, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Cole? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Cole, you're represented in your case by Attorney Jennifer Delage. Ms. Delage, how are you doing?
Great.
Yes, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Delage, do you waive a record in Mr. Cole's case?
Yes.
Mr. Cole, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleged that you, Rodney Cole, on or about October 29th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Cole, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Cole, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? No contest. Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Okay, Mr. Cole, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Mr. Cole, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
All right. On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, RC, that are on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there is he got he was supposed to put his signature on it. He got his initials on it.
That Judge, sorry about that.
Okay.
Look on this one here.
You could turn that back and erase it. Does it erase?
Mm-mm. Okay. Yes. You
Yeah,
guys
just, yeah, your sign right there.
You can just sign next to them. Can you reach it?
Thank you. Mr. Cole, on page 3 of this same document, states exhibit number 1, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Cole, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you understand everything that she went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Cole, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit 2, which is in the court's file, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Lodge, you advised and counseled Mr. Cole, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Cole, your attorney, Mr. Lodge, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her services? Has she provided fully effective and competent legal representation? Okay, Mr. Cole, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Do your
And what is that agreement?
exchange for plea guilty or no contest, state for free to recommend 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. And the court calls it, the defendant has credit for 60 days, so be credit for time served and the tax of the time of court.
Mr. Cole, the state is offering that you serve 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. The court cost in this case is $327, but you will not be required to pay the $327 court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it all. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Mr. Cole, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Cole, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Cole, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail today, you should be getting out of jail today. All right, now you're gonna stand on the X that's on the floor next to your attorney. and you're gonna follow the directions of our clerk right here. Once you're finished following her directions, please follow the bailiff. You'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Just straight stand on the X right there. And Mr. Lodge, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Cole.
Can I get your right thumbprint on this piece of paper? And this, space? Yeah, right here. One time. We're trying to get your whole thumbprint in here.
Mr.
Yeah, we've been down.
If you would have a seat in the jury box, I need to finish your paperwork and I'll call you back in just a second.
Okay,
Judge, that motion came through. I'll break that right now.
it is? Okay, Mr. Smith, you can come back up. Bruce, look, they have the motion. Y'all can come on back up. This is cause number M331150, case of South State of Texas versus Jacqueline Hill. Ms. Hill, is that your full name?
Jacqueline Sevilla.
Ms. Hill, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Hill, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Ms. Hill, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Hill? That's good. Ms. Hill, you represented in your case by Attorney Bruce Smith. Attorney Smith, how are you doing? Now, Mr. Smith, I have before me an agreed motion to withdraw as counsel and also agreed order on a motion to withdraw as counsel. And just for the record, actually, both the agreed order and agreed motion was actually both filed on June 14 of 2023. However, the motion, the order was accepted, but the motion wasn't accepted. And so therefore, you refiled that motion again today. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And I have a copy of that motion in my hand. Now, Ms. Hill, did you receive a copy of the motion to withdraw?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, do you have any objections to Mr. Bruce Smith withdrawing as counsel in this case?
No, sir.
Now, Mr. Smith, I'm going to sign the motion to the order to withdraw, allow you to withdraw so you are relieved
Thank you.
from any responsibilities you have in this case.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Ms. Hill, you, at this point, you do not have an attorney. Now, as a defendant, you have a right, you have three options. One option is you have a right to, could you give her that paperwork before? And I'm going to go over this paperwork. It's judge's explanation of rights of defendants without an attorney. Now, the document that you have in front of you is titled Judge's Explanations of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you see the title? And as a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options regarding your right to have an attorney. Number one, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Number three, you may represent yourself. Now, you can waive your right to have an attorney, and represent yourself. Do you understand that option?
Yes.
Now, if you want an attorney to represent you and you have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you first sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. That paragraph basically, or that sentence, is referring to individuals who are waiving their right to have an attorney and desiring to represent themselves. Now, if that is the case, that before they can talk to the prosecutor is assistant district attorney who is handling the case, before you can talk to them, you have to first sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, housing and public benefits, immigration status for non-citizens, child custody, and employment. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, at the bottom of that same document, in bold letters, it states defendant's choice. Mark initials next to one choice. If your choice is to hire your own attorney, then you will place your initials on the first line to the left. If you've already hired an attorney to represent you, then you will place your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is to apply for a court-appointed attorney, then you will place your initials on the third line to the left. If you've already been appointed a court-appointed attorney, then you will place your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself, then you will place your initials on the fifth line to the left. Now, once you finish initialing one of the 5 lines, then you will sign your name on the line that is titled defendant, and you will date it today's date, June 22nd, 2023. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, please make your choice.
I have a question.
Okay.
That's a question. So I requested for Bruce not to be my counsel anymore because my case with Mr. Stevenson was dismissed because I was on probation for like 8 years. I paid it off. It was dismissed. So I was on misdemeanor probation for what I don't remember. And I thought that when I came seeing you again, the agreement was for it to be dismissed. Now, whatever amount it is that's left on that misdemeanor probation, could I just pay that?
Well, I can't talk to you about that. At this point, you have a right to have an attorney, okay? Now, you can, you have the three options, either hire an attorney, see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, or you can represent yourself, waive your right to an attorney, represent yourself.
Judge, I'm gonna interrupt you, but we did dismiss the motion to revoke, but there's another charge.
Okay,
It's assault. That's the only thing left, is the assault, bodily injury.
okay,
We dismissed the MTRP, there was the theft probation today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You got another case,
Mhm.
so that's what he's talking about.
okay.
Yeah, and.
So we're saying you need an attorney
Mhm.
on that case, or you can represent yourself. on
And
it.
with me doing that, that will prolong it. It won't get done today. Like if I made a choice right now and I chose someone to represent me or something like that.
Well, if you hire an attorney, obviously, we'll give you time to hire an attorney. If you qualify for court-appointed attorney, that attorney will be appointed today from our list.
Mhm.
Or if you represent yourself, waive your right to an attorney, represent yourself,
Mhm.
sign the waiver, you may be able to talk to the prosecutor about the case. But that's where we are right now.
So if I'll try to represent myself, I can talk to the prosecutor.
That's what paragraph number 3 says. you may not talk to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. So if you do that, you'll be able to talk to the prosecutor. If you waive your right, if that's what you want, if you're waiving your right to have an attorney representing yourself, right? Then at that point, you're your own attorney.
Okay, but then you said something about the rights for your children. I have an autistic.
No. What I'm saying is that there are dangers and disadvantages of self-representation. Okay, I'm just saying. And one of the dangers and disadvantages of self-representation is your case may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant leave rights and opportunities relating to military service, housing and public benefits, possession of a firearm, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment.
So if I try to represent myself, I can have a potential cost of loss of.
There's a danger. Well, I'm just saying that there are dangers and disadvantages from that, because I can't tell you exactly what will happen.
Yeah. I will do the representation.
Okay.
But I will be able to talk to the prosecutor if I represent myself.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh. Let me just sign this here.
And sign on the defendant line with my signature.
You want what? Yeah, you sign on the line.
Because a court-appointed attorney is really not free. You still have to pay for him, right?
It depends. The day is the 22nd. June 22nd, 2023. No, the other case got dismissed.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Okay, now, there should be a document on that table. Yeah, it should be a waiver. Is it on the clipboard? Did he give a clipboard?
No.
Okay, now there are 4 documents. One of them should be waiver of counsel for purposes of entering a guilty plea or proceeding the trial. Now, with that document, that's the document that's mentioned in the document that you signed. Okay. The statement that says, you may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. That's the written waiver. And I'm going to go over that document with you. And it states, the title is waiver of counsel for purposes of entering a guilty plea or proceeding the trial. I have been advised of the nature and charges against me and the dangers and disadvantages of self-representation. My waiver is voluntarily and intelligently made. Furthermore, I have been advised this 22nd day of June 2023 by the County Court at Law number 2 of my right to representation by counsel in the case pending against me. I have been further advised that if I'm unable to afford counsel, one will be appointed to me free of charge. Understanding my right to have counsel appointed for me free of charge if I am not financially able to employ counsel, I wish to waive that right and request the court to proceed with my case without an attorney being appointed for me. I hereby waive my right to counsel. That's the waiver. Okay, and if that's what you want to do, you'll be required to sign where it says defendant and you date it today's date.
Then you can't change it after like a month or so.
You could, okay. Go back to the first document.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to, I'm sorry, y'all, look, this is all. I'm
Okay, listen, okay.
I'm just saying
The
like.
first listen, it's the answer to your question is in this document. It says, if you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court.
Okay.
Okay, so that answers your question.
Yeah.
Okay,
I need to stop you real quick.
which one? You need what?
I need to stop you real quick. We Trina caught something. This order was filed in the case that is the MTRP dismissal. So we need to call Mr. Smith's office and tell him to file it into that correct case.
Wait up. He put the wrong number on it?
He did. This is the case that's getting dismissed.
Okay, well, hold on, he can come back. Wow, okay.
I'll call him wrong.
Okay, you finished with that?
Yeah, June
Sorry.
22nd.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Ms. Hill, I have before me two documents. First document, judge explanation, of rights to defendants without an attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir. it is.
Are these your initials on the line saying you want to waive your right to attorney and represent
Yes,
yourself?
sir. it is.
I also have a document that is titled waiver of counsel for purposes of entering a guilty plea or proceeding to trial. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Correct, it is.
Now, Ms. Hill, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the document?
Yes, sir. it is.
Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, just have a seat.
Your Honor, I'm here on what was in the felony court.
Okay,
Got
hold on.
reset for 5 weeks. Must find it out in the hallway.
Okay. Parker,
His last name is Bermudez. Bermudez Diaz. I'm sure how y'all have it.
we have Odon Bermudez.
That's him. He's-
Odon Bermudez.
Yes, sir. If you need to go into 323.
Here, Buckham.
This is cause number M333-362, case of style of state of Texas versus Odon Bermudez. Mr. Bermudez, is that your full name?
Yeah.
How are you doing, Mr. Bermudez? You so?
Yeah, because my leg really good now.
Your leg? Okay, we hope that it'll be feeling a lot better. Do we have Mr. Bermudez, you're representing your case by your attorney Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, how are you doing?
Good.
And Mr. Parker, what is your announcement in Mr. Bermudez's case?
He has a felony that we're next door on, and it's reset for 5 weeks, and this is going to resolve with that case, Judge.
Okay, now, Mr. Bermudez, does he have any bond conditions?
I just got off the phone with Mr. Smith. What is the case number?
Case number is M333-362.
You have a piece of paper from the court?
This is for.
Next door.
Bermuda's.
No.
You don't have it? It probably did, but
No, sir.
not.
Okay, give me the bond conditions.
Went over.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mr. Bermudez. Brittany, could you make a copy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Bermudez.
Yes.
I'm going to give you some bond conditions. And the bond conditions will state that following the arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state or any other state or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
You understand?
Okay. Number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
And well, condition number 3 doesn't apply. Now, condition number 4 does apply to you because you have a DWI second. Now, condition number 4 states, a defendant who has been arrested or accused of any subsequent offense listed under section 49.04 through 49.06 of the Texas Penal Code shall not operate any motor vehicle unless the vehicle is equipped with an interlock device mechanism that makes impractical the operation of the vehicle if ethyl alcohol is detected in the breath of the operator, and said device shall be installed at the defendant's expense, with written verification of such installation being submitted to the court on or before the 10th day after today. Do you understand that condition? So that just says that you cannot operate, that you have to put a interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. And so you cannot operate a vehicle that does not have an interlock device on it. And you can provide proof to the court within 10 days. You can get that proof to your attorney will get it to the court. Okay.
Right.
Now your case is going to be reset.
With the felony.
Yeah, it's gonna be, she must be trying to get that data.
It's not there yet. No, she was. No.
Yeah, so if,
We'll have it.
yeah, well, she'll send a reset to your
Yeah.
office.
She can contact
So you're free to go stay in contact with your attorney and your boss.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. And y'all have a blessed day. Okay, now we need, no, I think you got told them you're gonna send the dismissal, the reset to them. Once you get it. Okay. This next, court is in session and cause number M331-796. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Shay O'Neill Bonin. Mr. Bonin, is that your full name? Mr. Bonin, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Bonin, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Bonin, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Bonin? You're right. You're right about that. Now, Mr. Bonin, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, how are you doing?
Doing well, good.
That's good. Now, Mr. Bonin, Mr. Reynolds, do you waive a record in Mr. Bonin's case?
So wait, Judge.
Mr. Bonin, I have before me a document that is titled Motion to Revoke Probation. This motion was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this motion, it alleges that you, Shay O'Neill Bonin, was tried on April 21st of 2022 for the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault. And you were found guilty and punishment was assessed at 90 days confinement in the Jefferson County Jail. However, that you did not have a fine and you was placed on probation for a period of 1 year. Now, there are 4 allegations in this motion. State, are you waiving any of the allegations?
Waiving allegation 2 and 4.
Mr. Bonin, the state is abandoning allegations 2 and 4, and they will only be proceeding on allegations 1 and 3. Allegation number 1 alleges that you, Shay O'Neill Bonin, failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office as ordered by the court on February 28 of 2023, as directed in violation of condition 4 of your probation order. Is that true or not true?
True.
Allegation number 3 alleges that you, Shay O'Neill Bonin, failed to perform community service hours required as ordered by the court in violation of condition 14 of your probation order. Is that true or not true? It's true?
Yes.
Okay.
There is no evidence I could.
No, what I'm asking, you have to either say true or not true.
True.
It's true, okay. Now, are you pleading true to allegations 1 and 3 freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true because they are true?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Bonin, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, CB, that are on a line next to a box that's checked MTRP, which means motion to revoke probation, true to allegations 1 and 3. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Bonham, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you understand everything that your attorney went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes,
Mr. Bonin, are you a citizen of the United States?
yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
There are no objections.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Reynolds, you advised and counseled Mr. Bonin, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None to my knowledge.
And Mr. Bonin, your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Very much.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Bonin, I will accept your plea of true to allegations 1 and 3. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, and your probation is hereby revoked. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement? And what is that agreement?
Exchange for a plea of truth for the allegations 1 and 3, the state should recommend 25 days in the Jefferson County Jail with credit for 25 days, be time served, and that's the tax and retirement.
Mr. Bonner, the state is offering that you serve 25 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 25 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. What that means is you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Mr. Bonin, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Very much so.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bonin, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Bonin, your attorney has given you a document that is titled Model Written Ammunition on Ineligibility to Possess Firearm or Ammunition. I'm going to go over this document with you. And it reads as follows: in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you of the following. Number 1, you are, by entry of order or judgment, ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number 2, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number 3, under Texas Penal Code section 46.013, a firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is 1, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or 2, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective order. Mr. Bonner, you will keep that document for your records. This will conclude your case. You're going to stand on the X on the floor next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll follow the bailiff. Now, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail, You should be getting out of jail today. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Bond. Can I get your right thumbprint 3 times on your piece of paper? And then once you do that, I'm gonna have you have a seat, so to finish all your paperwork.
Okay, we have Bob Holder,
Bo
Bo Holder.
Just have a
Oh, that's
seat.
B. That's Bo.
B holder.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I see that. I thought it was Bob. Because it had B-O-B. But it's a holder.
It looks like they just skipped this bad. I think it's.
Yeah.
Bo.
Yes, Bo, B-O space B. Holder. Yeah. Jefferson County Court, law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session and cause number M334226. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Bo B. Holder. Mr. Holder, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holder, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Holder, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Holder, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Holder? Yes, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Holder, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information alleges that on or about November 26th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you, Bo B. Holder, committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest, detention. Now, Mr. Reynolds, do you waive the record in Mr. Holder's case?
So wait, Judge.
And Mr. Holder, to this information, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holder, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? Yes, speak up.
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, on the next page of the same document, rather, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Mr. Holder, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holder, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holder, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Reynolds?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Reynolds, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Holder, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None to my knowledge.
And Mr. Holder, your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holder, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given, And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain
I
agreement?
do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The state for me of guilty no contest, state's agreed to recommend 10 days in Jefferson County Jail and court costs, but it has credit for 8 days at this point.
Okay,
Class A and the code is two.
okay. Mr. Holder, the state is offering,
Parentheses, A.
don't put your hand on the bench. Mr. Holder, the state is offering that you serve 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You have credit for 8 days that you've already served, so you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served in the Jefferson County Jail. Now, the court cost in this case, where is it? Okay, the court cost in this case is $327. Will you be able to pay the $327 court cost?
No.
Trink, well,
So do you mean the date of yours?
I'm gonna need her to get I can't get the magistrate one and it's locked me out. Yes,
Have
I
you
don't-
ever tried clicking on it, because even though it has that lock?
yeah, I did click on it.
Okay,
And it says that you are not authorized to view this document. Yeah,
The microphone.
yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And he didn't find.
Oh, you got it? Okay, print it out.
Do 2 copies. And then can you, I can try to go across, I haven't even tried that yet. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, just print it, please. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Holder. Okay, Mr. Holder, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Mr. Reynolds, would you please show this document to your client? Mr. Holder, you recognize that document? And it has, and on page 2, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant's Signature. Is that your signature? Now, Mr. Holder, is that financial information in that document still true and correct today?
I don't know. Right now, I've been cut off on disability. I don't get my disability check right now.
Okay,
It's less,
so,
it's less income now.
so yeah, so yes. So your income has even dropped since the last time you signed this. Okay,
Incarcerated, so they disability, I had to go renew it.
okay. So at this time, Mr. Holder, the court is going to find that you're indigent based on the finding of indigence. The court cost in this case is going to be waived, which means that you will not be required to pay it. You will not be required to pay the $327 because it'll be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. All right. So now, Mr. Holder, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir. It's fair.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Holder, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Holder, this will conclude your case. Now, Mr. Holder, the jail is going to calculate up your time.
Yes, sir.
All right. Stand on the X on the floor next to your attorney Follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, Mr. Holder, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you are.
Hello. Mr. Porter? Here is the paperwork for, we're having some issues. Yeah, she's the person who's using the one that's for protected.
Okay,
They just finished selling. it.
okay. But we, let's see. William Pap. Yeah, PAAP.
30, I reduced it to 15, 13 days.
All right, Mr. Holder, can I get your right thumbprint? 3 times.
Judge had 2 pages.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to have a seat in the jury box, I need to complete your paperwork and I'll call you back up.
What?
In the jury box.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus William Pap. They are cause numbers M309178 and cause number M309180. Mr. Pap, your full name is William Pap?
William Pate.
Pape? How are you doing, Mr. Pape?
I've been around.
That's good. Now, Mr. Pape, you represented. Well, Mr. Pape, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Pape, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Pape, you may put your hand down. Mr. Pape, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, do you waive a record in Mr. Pape's case?
No way, Judge.
Let's see, 7, 8. Mr. Pape, in cause number M309178, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, William Pape, on or about August 4th of 2015, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Pape, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Pape, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Guilty.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Pape, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials that are on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
I understand
The
that.
second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Pate, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
He said he had one, but I haven't seen it.
No, my question is, do you recognize this document?
Yes, that's. the
And
one.
is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes,
Mr. Payton, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes,
Mr. Payton, are you a citizen of the United States?
yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
There are no objections.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Reynolds, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Pate, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None to my knowledge.
Mr. Pate, your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pate, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for a plea of guilty or no contest, the state agrees to recommend 15 days in Jefferson County Jail and court costs. The defendant has credit for 13 days. This will run concurrent with the companion case as well.
Mr. Pate, the state has recommended that you serve 15 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You be given credit for the 13 days that you have already served. And the court cost in this case is $327. Mr. Pate, will you be able to pay the $327 court cost?
No, sir.
Could you give me a copy of his affidavit or magistrate's warning?
Yes, sir, because Mr. Pate.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Pate. I'm handing you a document that's titled affidavit of indigence. Do you recognize that document? On the back page of that document, it should have a signature at the top left that says defendant signature. Is that your signature?
That's fine.
Okay, now, Mr. Pate, is the information on that document still true and correct today? And what I'm talking about is the financial information.
Yes,
Okay, Mr. Pate, the court is going to find that you are indigent based on the finding of indigence. The court costs in this case will be waived. That simply means that you would not be required to pay it pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Now, Mr. Pate, do you understand the state's offer
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Accept the state's offer.
Okay, Mr. Pate, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Pate, we will move on to your next case. Your next case is cause number M309180. And in this case, Mr. Pate, I have an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Pate, it alleges that you, William Pate, on or about August 6th of 2015, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing. Mr. Pate, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge, Mr. Pate, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Because I'm guilty.
Okay, Mr. Pate, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials. There are a set of initials on a line that's next to a box that says check guilty. You place your, these are your initials? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of the same document, there are 2 boxes that says check. The first box that says check states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that check states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you are giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Pate, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State I have before me, State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Reynolds, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Pape, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None to my knowledge.
And Mr. Pape, your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, has advised in counsel you in this case. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pape, I'll accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the plea bargain
The
agreement?
state for plea of guilty no contest, states agree to recommend 15 days in Jefferson County Jail, and court costs, he's got credit for 13 days. This is the same plea bargain as the previous one. We'd ask you to run your current.
Okay, Mr. Pate, the state is offering that you serve 15 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail. Well, you'll be required to serve. You've already served 13 days in the Jefferson County Jail. So you'll be required to serve the remaining balance of the time in the Jefferson County Jail. Now, the court cost in this case is $332. But the court has previously found that you are indigent, and based on that finding of indigence, the court cost in this case will also be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And Mr. Pate, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Pate, court is going to follow these plea bargain agreements, and these cases will run concurrent with each other. Mr. Pate, Please stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll follow the bailiff and you have a blessed day.
Yeah, bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I get your right thumbprint?
Yeah, just all the agreements, you have Charles Edmund Monroe.
Charles Edmund Monroe.
Yes, he's got a pending felony and he would like his cases.
The
That's
right
it, well, after the felonies have been resolved.
Oh, okay.
We need it.
So that'll be reset. Okay.
Yes, felony cases?
That's what she said. That's what he said. He's not checked.
Okay, and then one more time with your right.
Charles Monroe.
Yeah, she's gonna check. Okay, this is cause number M 324-960, cases South State Sex versus Joseph Janelle Benitez Gomez. And Mr. Gomez, you have a felony case and your felony case was reset? Okay. You go ahead on and, your case is gonna be reset. Do you have your felony court date? Did they give you a court date?
Yes, but I have the paper outside anyway.
Okay, once you go get it and then come back and give the court coordinator the day, we're gonna reset your felony case and your misdemeanor cases on the same day.
Okay.
All right? Yeah, just go get the paper from your wife.
He's also got a parole.
Oh, you got a parole? Okay,
They just reset it, see what they did with the.
yeah, with the felony or whatever parole.
There you go.
Okay,
There you go. What are we talking about?
I think that's it.
okay. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.